All right, so this is based on a survey of 64 informed voters. And this is a very serious survey because it's about Elvis still being alive or if we were abducted by aliens. And this is very serious, so I expect you guys to take it very seriously. Okay, so some things that are important here is 45 believe that Elvis is still alive. 49 believe that they've been abducted by aliens, and 42 believe both of these things. So what we're going to need to do on this is actually make a Venn diagram. And it's a two-set Venn diagram. And we're always going to start from the middle and work our way out. So here's a Venn diagram. The one on the left is Elvis is alive. The one on the right is being abducted by aliens. Okay? And we're always going to start from the middle and work our way out. So what does the middle section mean again?
Both.
It means both. So what do we get for both? 42. Okay? So we have 42 in the middle, and then it said the total that believed Elvis is alive is 45. Okay? So if the total is 45, how do I find out what's in this area right here? Yep, we're going to subtract 42 from 45. So 45 minus 42 is 3 for that area. Okay? And then it said the total that believed that they were abducted was 49. We're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to take 49 minus 42, and we have 7 over here. Do you guys remember how many total were interviewed? 64 total were interviewed, right? So if we had 64 for the total, how many are on the outside of this Venn diagram? Yep. So we're going to add this plus this plus this and subtract it from 64. Okay? So that would be 64 minus, I'm going to put 7 and 3 together, 10. And then minus 42. And that's going to be 12. So I'm going to put 12 right here.
Why did you do minus 10?
Because I just put 7 and 3 together already. Those two together. It's 10, right? Okay. All right, so let's go back to our questions. It said, how many believe neither of these things? 12, because that was what was on the outside of our Venn diagram, right? Okay. So how many people believe Elvis is still alive but don't believe that they have been abducted by space aliens? So that would be 3. 3 is that number. Okay? So today's lesson really is based on surveys. And you guys should recognize these because this is what you should have done for your checkpoint. Okay? So let's take the first one. I know that this is 55 right here for classical music. This is 20. This is jazz here. And I think that was 70. And then the outside was 30. All right. Okay, so in a survey on musical taste, respondents were asked, do you listen to classical music? Do you listen to jazz? And the survey results are summarized in this figure. Use the diagram to answer the following questions. Okay, so how many people listen to classical music? 75, because you're adding both the 55 and 20. How many people listen to jazz? 90. Okay? Okay, now here's the key word on this one. We're looking at the word and. And is always mean what? Is it a union or intersect? And. It's an intersect. This is an intersect. Okay? So this is going to be the 20. here's the or, and that means the union. So yeah, you're going to add up 55 plus 20 plus 70, and that's 145. How about classical music but not jazz?
7.
No, 55, that would be this section right here, right? Yes?
Why is it D125? Because why is the 20 included if it's either or and not both?
Because you could, that's a good question. For the or, it means it could be at any time you could listen to classical or jazz. Okay? All right, so 145. So classical but not jazz was 55. How about jazz but not classical? 70. And neither classical or jazz? 30. Okay? Not too hard. Okay, so in a Gallup poll, and this is supposed to be 2,000, it's a typo. 2,000 United States adults were selected at random and asked to agree or disagree with the following statement. Job opportunities for women are not equal to those for men, and the results of the survey showed 1,190 people agreed and 700 women agreed. Half of the people surveyed were women. So there's some important things you need to remember. First of all, the total number surveyed is 2,000. And these two numbers you need to remember. And also, this is important. Half of them were women. Okay? So, I'm trying to get back my other pen here. So, what is the middle section here? What is the intercept section? People who, what? Women that agreed, right? So that's going to go right in the middle. That's the first thing you should always find is the middle, okay? Women that agreed. How about, how do we find the total in this section right here then? If we know that that's people that agreed, how do I find that green section? Well, it tells us part of it, right? It says 1,190, but that's not what we put there. What else? How do I find that number? Because that includes the 700. So we're going to subtract it, okay? So that's going to be 490 here. Okay? That should be there. And now I need to find out how many go in this section over here. 300. How'd you get that? Good. Because we know that half the people surveyed were women, and there's 2,000 total. And so that'd be 1,000 minus 700, and that would be 300. Okay? Also, how do I find out the total on the outside? So we know that we had 2,000 people surveyed, right? Yep, minus 1,490, and she got that by adding 300 plus 700 plus 490.
Isn't it just 1990? Or 1190 minus
1,190? Nope. You're going to add all three of these together.
all three of them?
300 plus 700 plus 490. You're going to take that from the total. So that should be 510. So it's really like subtracting 300 minus 700 minus 490. That's everything inside the two circles. Okay? Okay, so the question is, how many men agreed with the statement? 490. Yep. And how many men disagreed with it? 510. Good. How many disagreed with it? Okay, so here we're looking at a survey of things that were collected. And by the way, in the book, this was written in paragraph form. So my first big hint for you guys when you're doing this is to write a list. Write it in list form first, okay? Otherwise, you might lose track of something, and it'll be harder. So rewrite it in list form. So this is based on stamps collected, comic books, I'm going to call that CB, and baseball cards, BC. All right, so on this one, like I said earlier, if you have a paragraph form, it's better if you start off on making a list, which I have done already for you here. So we want to go from the center and work our way out. So which number are we concerned with right now? I didn't hear what you said. Okay. The bottom one. 2 collected all 3 types of memorabilia. I'm going to mark it off and put it right here. Okay? And then if we work our way up from there, it says 2 collected comic books and stamps. So if I'm looking at comic books and stamps, I'm looking at this area right here. And there's already a 2 written there. So we can't put anything in this section right here in the triangle section. So we're going to leave that alone. So that one's already done for us. I'm going to mark it off. Then it says 5 collected baseball cards and stamps. So baseball cards is on this section right here, stamps over here. So we're talking about this section right here. And if it's 5 total, what am I going to put in for this triangle area right here? 3, correct. Okay, so 3. And then, yes?
What is the difference between having elements in set A or set C, or in set A and set C?
Okay, I'll get back to you in just a minute. Trent, I'll get back to you in a minute, okay? 29 collected baseball cards and comic books. This is an and. So 29 collected baseball cards and comic books. So that would be right in here. Okay, so how do I find out that area? Yep, it's 29 minus 2, or 27. Okay? And 62 collected stamps. So we're going to take 62, and we're going to subtract from it 2 and 3, which is 5. So that's going to be 57. 92 collected comic books. Same thing. We're going to take 92, subtract 2, and subtract 27 from it. So we have 63 here. And then the last one is 108 baseball cards. So we're going to take 108. We're going to subtract from it 3 plus 5, 3 plus 2, which is 5, plus 27, which is 32. Okay, so 8 minus 2 is 6, 10 minus 3 is 7, or, yeah, 76. Okay? All right, so on the bottom it says how many collected comic books, but neither baseball cards nor stamps. What? Yeah, that would be 63. That's this area, right? So 63 for the first one. Oops, I should put it here. Okay, how many collected baseball cards and stamps, but not comic books? Well, we're talking about this area right here. So that'd be 57 plus 3 plus 76. So what did we say? 136? So 60, yes, 136. Baseball cards or stamps, and this is an or, but not comic books. Did I do the last one wrong? I did the last one wrong, you guys. Go back. Because I didn't read it right. Look at B. It says baseball cards and stamps. What does and mean again? It's an intersect, right? So the only part that we want is this right here. So that should have been a 3.
Plus 2.
Nope, because it's not counting comic books. Okay? The next one should be 136. Okay? Okay, exactly 2 types of memorabilia. On that one, we're only counting the ones that have 2. This one has nothing in it. So how many of those? That'll be 30, right? Okay. At least one type of memorabilia, and that one we're counting everything in all the circles here. Okay? If we were to add them all up, another way we could find that is we know that the total is 250, and we could subtract everything out also. If we were to add all that up, that's going to be 28, I think it was. The bottom one's supposed to be 22. Okay? The 22 is on the outside. So 22 you can take by taking 250 minus 228, and that's how you get 22.